How's it going, guys? Welcome back to Elite Tech Media Alternative. So ASUS Sabertooth Z170 S Motherboard. The winter is coming inside your PC. So ASUS releases a new Sabertooth winter edition. Can you zoom it in? Yes. Come on. I can actually see people modding this board fucking heavily. Anyway, let's read through this, shall we? ASUS has released its Sabertooth Z170 S motherboard, which we first saw during CES. This motherboard is somewhat similar to Sabertooth Z170 Mark I released last year in terms of specs, but it loses some of the more advanced cooling features, and it gains a unique winter camo theme. Although it falls short of the Z170 Mark 1 in terms of features, the Sabertooth Z170S is still a fairly high-end motherboard. It should still perform well with overclocking CPUs thanks to a well-developed digital power design that uses numerous power phases. Looks nice though. I really like this, how they implemented this sort of a shield here. It just makes the board look so much nicer. Every board that I buy, motherboard that I buy, has to have this IO shield. Whatever you fucking would you call it. It needs to have it because I hate looking at the fucking connectors at the back. The motherboard is clearly targeted at gamers and it supports multi-GPU configurations up to quad SLI and quad crossfire. The first two PCI x16 slots are configured to connect to the CPUs, but oddly enough ASUS opted to connect PCIe x16-3 to the chipset PCIe controller instead, which might result in lower overall performance because of increased latency and the potential bottleneck issue. I actually read a review. They were comparing the PCI lanes, the CPU ones. They were saying that the performance difference is like 1 frame per second, really, so it doesn't really matter. The PCIe 16-3 also shares one of the system HS IO lines with one of the setup ports, and if setup port is in use, the PCIe 16-3 will be limited to an extra time 2 connection instead of time 4, further hampering performance. For the storage connectivity, the board also has a single M.2 key that they can run in both PCIe x4 or SATA mode, in addition to the typical 6 SATA 3 6GB ports found on most Z170 boards. It uses two SATA Express headers. The ability to switch the M.2 between PCIe and SATA is helpful if you have an M.2 drive that's compatible with SATA transfer protocols, but most users will want to leave it set to PCIe x4, as this enables faster data transfer rates. The M.2 also features the M.2 also shares the SATA connection with one of the SATA ports, but it does not share PCIe lanes with any other devices. The motherboard also has a high-end audio Realtek LS 1150 audio codec with claimed 1112 dB. I don't know, is this decibels or dB? I don't know what this is. SNR. I'm not expert in audio, so like many modern motherboards, the audio subsystem is segregated with the rest of the system components and it sits on a segment piece of board. This helps reduce AMI interface and interference, and maintains a higher SNR. ASUS opted to use traditional electrolytic capacitors as opposed to higher grade audio capacitors, but overall sound system should be decent for the onboard implementation. Many of the specs are similar to the higher end Z170 M1 board, but that board does have a few other advantages over the Z170S beyond its special cooling features. It features dual NICs whereas the Sabertooth Z170S has only one single Intel i219 GB lane. It also features an S Media SATA 3 controller to support two additional SATA ports. Other than that, one of that and the other in a different color scheme. The board are fairly similar. So we can see the specs here. So it's an ATX Vector 1151 CPU socket. What the fuck? 4 gig DIMM slots, 64 gig max speed, 2400 storage, 2 times SATA Express ports, 1 M.2, 6 times SATA 6 gig ports, RAID 0, RAID 1, 5, 10, 1 DVI display port, 1 HDMI port, supports quad SLI, quad crossfire, 2 types PCI 3 lanes, 16, 1 PCI lane 3.1, and 3 times PCI lane 3.1, 2 time USB 3 connectors, 2 time USB 2, 1 time I don't know what header connector for the Thunderbolt. Cooling features: 1 CPU fan, 1 CPU up fan, 6 chassis fans, 2 assistant fan, 1 pump header. It's got Intel lane controller, Realtek audio, and USB ports 6 times 3.0, 8 USB 2s, 2 times USB 3.1 port, 1 type A, 1 type C, S Media 3.1 controller. Overall, it's a nice board. I reckon it's a nice kind of budget board. If you're going for this sort of a team, you can go nice with a nice white build. But yeah, overall, I reckon it's a good value board. Good performance for budget system anyway. Anyway guys, thanks for watching. Please like, share, subscribe for more. Thank you.